on Box Beat. I'm Adam McGrath, and again joined by Ian Lenton. And Ian, 9 races to take a look at for Belmont.
Yeah, really tough and thick card towards the end, so we've got to probably get our work done early to save punters the trouble of dissecting one in the final races, because yeah, there will be a lot of value to find.
Just going back to Saturday, great to see Winkin and Nodder winning in the Newmarket and Lucy Warwick getting her first ever listed victory.
Yeah, well deserved for both horse and jockey. It was certainly coming for Lucy Warwick, and Winkin and Nod, it was great to see after a luckless performance the previous start. And poor Cool Trade just keeps finishing second, but I'm sure its next listed victory is just around the corner.
And speaking of jockeys, Joey Azzopardi rides for the first time without a claim at Belmont Park on Wednesday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he adapts. It's always a tough transition. Whether he has to just earn his stripes again back in the bush remains to be seen, but he's certainly up to Saturday riding.
Let's take a look at the conditions that we're going to be faced with at Belmont Park on Wednesday. Mostly sunny day, 19 degrees. The track is rated a soft 5 at the moment, but keep up to date with that on social media. And the rail is out 18 metres with that cutaway in the straight. The first race is the West Speed 3-year-old handicap over the 1700 metres. And last start, Ian, Gold Club was pretty unlucky.
Yeah, it was. It is building to its best performance, but there's a lot of similarities to me with Gold Club and Boom Time from the previous season. So hopefully its victory is just around the corner. We'll have a look at that replay now.
Perfect. Leads into the stretch, a length and a half clear of the favourite Gold Club. Daisy Express still coming down the outside, although she's been off the track most of the journey. In behind those South Parkers, down on the inside from Witness in court in the middle, and wider out running on his War Tune. Gold Club had headed off Peter Perfect, 150 from home. Daisy Express trying to run them down. Gold Club, Daisy Express, Peter Perfect kicking back though. Peter Perfect rallied on the inside of Gold.
Well, the positive, if it is going to be a Boom Time, when it steps up in distance, we should see improvement in the 1700 with the claim for this start.
Well, that's exactly what we saw with Boom Time. So with a horse like Gold Club, I really think Trevor Andrews maybe has this progression ironed out. And I think coming into this with a career low weight for Gold Club, favourable barrier, and Jordan Turner, who's riding fantastically, taking the claim, I think Gold Club will be very hard to beat.
Number 7, Maddie's Choice, ridden by Jared Noski, was beaten by Morio, which we know there are some good form lines around there as well. This horse looks as though it wants more distance.
Yeah, brilliant finish last start. Came from a long way back, attacked the line strongly, had a lot more to give. So we look at the form around that Amorio. The horses that were in second and third look like they are very talented. So Maddie's Choice must be considered.
And when we look at the fields, there's a few horses that are having their first go or are new to the running scene. But Headlander Boys had the 4 starts. It has placed in 2 of them, has won 1 of them as well. My only question mark, the 59 kilos.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of an inconvenience facing others like Gold Club that are claiming. So I think Headlander Boy is probably just outside of the top 2, but isn't too far away.
Let's take a look at selections for race number 1. Then I'm going to be tipping number 5, the Gold Club, from number 7, Maddie's Choice, number 8, Tame Impala, with just a 53.5, and number 1, Headlander Boy.
I'm 5, Gold Club on top from 7, Maddie's Choice, number 1, Headlander Boy, and number 3, Black Galaxy.
Race number 2, it is Perth. Race number 1 for our Singapore viewers. It's a Tab Touch handicap over 1,000 metres. And Ian, if this was in the quaddie, I'd be taking every horse.
I think you have to. This is just such a open race. All 8 horses in this event can win. They all have their pros and cons coming into this. I don't think anything really stands out head and shoulders above the rest.
Well, last start, Travelin was backed in, jumped as favourite and was able to salute it just under a length. Let's take a look at that victory now.
Better than midfield at the top of the straight, ahead of Wonderlust. Followed further back Capricioso by the 300 though, and Travelin now quickly joins Disco Duck. And here comes Mr. African with a run. It's Travelin at the 150, the leader. On the outside is Mr. African. They beat off Disco Duck, who's running about, but Travellin's holding Mr. African, who's trying valiantly. Travelin, though, holding him off in the run to the post, and Travelin too good. Travelin scored by 3 quarters.
Well-deserved victory there by Travelin, getting his first victory. But what was worrying, the sectionals for that race were really quite poor, but the previous effort behind Prophet Street was solid, so I'm a bit caught in the middle with Travelin. Great barrier, but I think it might just be a little bit under the odds.
Jim Taylor has 2 horses, and one that we just know is very honest is Fairway to Venus, with Jake Casey to claim, just the 56.5, and enjoys a soft track.
Yeah, I couldn't split the Taylor horses. I probably would edge towards Fairway to Venus. There was no blinkers in the recent trial. Drawn really quite nicely, is flexible, its racing pattern, and loves a 1,000-metre distance.
Now, you and I have both gone for some speedy horses in this race, and I speak of Park Lane and Tempestuous Strike. What are you expecting from these two? Will they both try and lead, and how far in front can they get from some of these?
Well, the Tempestuous Strike is a huge improver. It was caught wide last start, worked quite hard to get across, and from a favourable barrier, that won't happen. But a horse like Park Lane, I think if they jump cleanly and get outside of Tempestuous Strike or even lead up, it'll really stretch out the field and make it hard for the back markers.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for race number 2. I'm going to be tipping number 4, Tempestuous Strike, and each way price with the 56 kilos. From number 2, High Limit, number 8, Travelling, and number 5, Fairway to Venus.
I'm 1 Park Lane from number 5, Fairway to Venus, number 8, Travelling, and the 6, Just Envy Her.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It is Perth at race number 3. It's a West Speed 3-year-old handicap over 1,000 metres. Not too much experience in this race, Ian.
No, but those that trialled looked very encouraging. So I'm looking forward to us dissecting those. Whereas I guess the racehorses like War of Paris and Castle Queen, they probably look like they are probably the more preferred chances, in my opinion.
War in Paris is second up for this race. It was a good first up performance, just pulled a little bit early and struggled just over the final 100 metres. Let's take a look at that run now.
Bustled hard coming into the corner, switching back with Foundry Court towards the inside. 300 left to go with Amorio coming up on the outside of War in Paris at the 200. War in Paris, Amorio together fighting it out further back. Maddie's Choice makes up some ground. Amorio got its head in front of War in Paris, then CB Sizzle getting through late, but Amorio, the most experienced of these runners, wins. Amorio scored from CB Sizzle.
Yeah, great debut performance there by War in Paris. It's the half to Centrum and Moonlight Drive that were very successful gallopers, and Maddie's Choice came from the same form line, which is in the first race of the day. So we have a few opportunities here, and with Paul Harvey getting on board from a favourable barrier, I think this is very much the safest way to go.
Dropping back to 1,000 metres does look ideal. Two that I was really impressed with the trials, and they trialled differently, was Intercity Disco and also Time Stream. Intercity Disco went to the front, showed plenty of speed, and then wasn't asked for too much late. And Time Stream sat in a really nice position, showed a nice turn of foot late.
Yeah, I think I have to lean with the 9 Time Stream here because the time was faster and it settled rearward in that trial and ran home, whereas Intercity Disco controlled the speed in its trial, but even still, its finish was very impressive. It looked like a different trialling horse over the 1,000 than it was over the shorter distances, and it is the half to Vengabus, who we know can jump and run.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for race number 3. I'm going to be tipping number 10, War in Paris, from number 5, Intercity Disco, number 9, Time Stream, and number 4, Glowing Rock with the blinkers going on.
I'm 10 War in Paris from number 3, Castle Queen, 9 Time Stream, number 5, Intercity Disco.
Race number 4 here at Belmont Park. It is Perth race number 5 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 2,100 metres, and Ian, some really different form lines coming into this race.
This is a dog's breakfast. I really struggled finding what the better form lines were. We probably think the best horse in the race is Star Bay, but can it make the transition up to this distance, especially with the weight? I have my doubts. There's a few others that won really well, especially the 6 Gibraltar Rock.
Gary Delaney training really well in recent times. Sean O'Donnell to hop on for this start. Let's look at the previous victory.
400 tackle by Brandy Blitz, a length and a half, Sequence Society, and then Alyssa Grace down near the rail. Followed further back, Champs-Élysées and Barely a Cabernet, and Arctic Bolt running on Old Testament, getting stopped in its tracks. Hang On Honey is finding a needle eye opening down on the rail. Sir Dandy further back. Gibraltar Rock on the outside, quickly dashes up. Sir Dandy is closing. Gibraltar Rock, Sir Dandy. They went to the line together. I think Gibraltar Rock in the last. Gibraltar Rock over Sir Dandy.
Really nice finish on that occasion by Gibraltar Rock, and looks like it will progress up to this distance. The time on the day was pretty slow, and the horses around it I'm not totally convinced on, but it was a good performance.
A horse that we've both been following a little bit now. It hasn't collected the money for us yet, but is number 8, Slip Space, trained by Stan Bates. Natasha Faithful tried. It's a good run behind Fan of Choice last start, but the barrier doesn't help you.
Yeah, look, it is a get-back run-on horse, so I don't think that's too much of an impediment. Well, look at its performance when it was just under 2.5 lengths behind Star Bay. It picks up 5.5 kilograms on that. And I think after that run it had following that trial, I think Slip Space is about to get into its rhythm and can really play a part in this race.
You mentioned that horse is a get-back horse, and there are a few in this field, but one that will be going forward, and we saw last start can certainly tough it out, is number 9, Holy Sky. With just the 53 kilos, they would want to be wary how far they let this horse get in front.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like it is the only leader, so there shouldn't be too much pressure on Holy Sky up front. So I think it's a great chance, should maintain its form, and was just ahead of the 13. Can't you see that?
Let's take a look at selections then for race number 4. I'm going to be tipping number 9, Holy Sky, from number 4, Spondula, number 6, Gibraltar Rock, and number 8, Slip Space.
I'm 8, Slip Space on top from number 9, Holy Sky, the 4, Spondula, and number 3, Bon Signor.
Race number 5 at Belmont Park. It is Perth race number 7 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1,700 metres. And Ian, some older horses like November Red taking on some other horses just showing some good form early on, like Dangerous Game. Also, Who's to Blame has been running well.
Yeah, I found this race probably one of the hardest ones of the day. The form through Dangerous Game looks very good when it was a length and a half behind Phantom Choice, which of course the race produced Rattlehead, which won on Saturday. And Who's to Blame, which is racing very well for Vaughan Sigley now. And last start behind Galaxy Sun and race produced Street Bandit. Well, you'd have to consider it a chance as well.
The best form race of all time with Street Bandit in it. Yeah. Randy Tan to ride this time as well. Let's have a look at Who's to Blame last performance.
Led 400 to go by 3 lengths to Gone Diggin' and 6th Legion. Who's to Blame? It's switching back now, finds the cutaway. GPS Street Bandit behind those and Galaxy Sun, but it's Paris of Troy still clear with 200 left to go from Who's to Blame, getting home well. So Street Bandit, Paris of Troy's in front. Street Bandit, here's Galaxy Sun though. Galaxy Sun on the outside of Street Bandit. They went together. And Galaxy Sun, Street Bandits.
A great performance there by Who's to Blame. Racing well, just not getting the head down, but hopefully from this favourable barrier, that puts him into a good position, and Randy Town with a 3 kilogram claim can really put this horse into a good position.
Number 9, Jester Rock for Steve Wall, Peter Hall to ride. We see the winkers going on, drawn nice in. Hawley got the best out of this horse a couple of starts ago.
He did, and that's, I think, the run we should base it on when it was 3 lengths behind Hazabeel, went into its next start essentially as favourite, and just couldn't put it together. Now, I think that is that horse's inconsistency, but maybe with the blinkers coming off, good barrier, Peter Hall, you never know, this horse should improve.
Number 12, Peaceful Bay, Lucy Warwick to ride this time. The horse came back sore and stiff, so we can almost put a line through that, and I just think Lucy's going to sit really well on this.
Yeah, it was stiff in the hindquarters, which is basically me after a big Sunday on the couch watching football. But look, I think Peaceful Bay was a good performance, good build-up previously, and then it just went off last start. Best to dismiss.
Let's take a look at selections then for race number 5. I'm going to be tipping at number 7, Who's to Blame, from number 12, Peaceful Bay, the Sawhorse, number 2, Dangerous Game, and number 9, Jester Rock.
I'm 2, Dangerous Game from 3, November Red, 12, Peaceful Bay, and number 9, Jester Rock.